Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. I have with us today, he is the writer and producer of a short horror film about to be turned into a full length feature, and it's called Seduction. I have with us today Kevin Landon. Kevin, welcome to the Horror Room.
All right, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Seduction.
Okay, actually, it's it's based off of a short novella that I wrote back in 2016, and it's the first part of a trilogy, and it is about a homicide detective who has sort of had a fall from grace. He suffered a very tragic event in his life, and now all he has is the job, and he's kind of become cynical and sarcastic over the years because of that. And just really just have the I don't give a shit attitude anymore. He goes to work, does his job, comes home because he has nothing left. And his latest case comes across a body that out in the middle of a field that he's never seen anything like it before. It's got all kinds of weird scratches, bruises on it and everything. Kind of unusual, and very odd smile on his face. The corpse does. And 2 days later, he gets another body. He's identical. And this actually leads him into a confrontation with a supernatural element, which is actually a succubus at the end.
Now, that's an amazing story. Now, you made it into a proof of concept short film.
Yes.
Now,
we I adapted the novella, which is available on Amazon. I can give you links for that later if you'd like.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I adapted the script from that, managed to get a full feature out of it, and to try to entice investors to invest in the actual feature film, we did film a 10-minute proof of concept based off the first 6 to 8 pages of that script.
Now, was it hard or challenging to try to convert your novella into a full-length feature?
It was simply because the novella was only 50 pages, and to try to get at least 90 pages for a decent feature film, I did have to add a few things here and there just to kind of make this story flow a little bit, plus to get some runtime on that.
Now, you said that this is part of a trilogy, correct?
Correct. I just actually released the second book in November of 2023. So November 15th, that hit Amazon as well. And that one is entitled Wolfsbane.
Now that you know that you're going to be, you're writing, the second one's going to be released. Now, I'm assuming that there's going to be a sequel to Seduction.
Yes, it is a direct sequel, like literally takes place 2 weeks after the end of the first one.
Now, this time around, when you were writing, now that you know that this is going to be a full-length feature, did you do anything differently?
No. But you talk about on the second book?
Yes.
On the second book, I actually did a lot more outline work. There was a lot of research involved, simply because of the different supernatural creature that the same detective, comes across. So I researched a lot of folklore on werewolves, because that's what this one is about. The name kind of gives it away, Wolfsbane. But it's about a werewolf, and surprisingly, the werewolf is also female, not male, as it is in most stories. Usually I wanted my stories to be a little bit different. You always get the male antagonist, creature of the night or whatever. So I was like, let's put it on its head a little bit. Let's make a female the villain, So that's how the first one came across with the succubus. And I was like, let's just continue that trend. Let's make the second one, the werewolf, be a female and not a male.
Interesting.
So
interesting concept. Now, when you first wrote your novella, did you already have in mind that, hey, I want to adapt this into a full length feature, or was it something that it came out afterwards? You were like, you know what, this would be great.
That, that came out afterwards. Um, because I didn't even think about movies when I wrote the novella. I was just like, you know what? I've got all these stories stuck in my head. I need to start putting them on paper.
Mhm.
And I originally just wanted to release it and see where it went. Um, I'll be honest, it didn't sell very well. I've sold maybe off the top of my head 30 copies of the original book. Uh, I've pretty much matched that with the second book already, and it's only been out for a month and a half. But yeah, I didn't even think about movies until I joined Louisville Filmmaking Group because I was just, wanting to network with other people in like the arts. And somebody's like, I read your book because I had posted a link on it. Just kind of feeling the waters to see if anybody would be interested in adapting it. Had a little bit of interest. I did actually have a guy start the script for me. He didn't finish it. He got about maybe 30 pages written. And I was like, you know what? I could take this and finish it. So I finished it, reached out to people in the group, and tons of people came on board saying, hey, yeah, I'd like to be a part of this. So that's kind of how I got started.
It's amazing. Now, when it came to selecting a director, was it was it someone that you met in the group, or was it someone that you've gotten feedback from other people like, this is the individual, they're amazing, just be the perfect person for you?
Gotcha. Yeah. Actually, it was somebody I met in the group. And I was actually an associate producer on one of his films. Was doing a fundraiser for a film that he wrote and directed and produced, which is entitled Live, Laugh, Die, which is supposed to be out sometime this year. He's finishing up in post-production. So I was associate producer on that. And I reached out to him. I said, hey, are you going to be busy, December? And he's like, no. And I said, well, I'm looking to do a proof of concept for my book. I'll send you the script and see if you'd be interested. And that's kind of how it took off.
Now, working now in films, what are some challenges that you've ran into that you never expected when it came to filmmaking?
The main challenge is probably the same challenge that everybody: money. It's not easy or cheap to make a movie.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Even the proof of concept, people were telling me, oh, you can film it with your iPhone and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I know iPhones have awesome cameras. I've seen stuff that people have filmed on them. I'm like, if I want to turn this into a serious feature film, especially a trilogy, and I want people to invest in it, I got to do it with more than an iPhone. So that's when I did the first Indigo. Our goal was to raise 4,000. We fell a little bit short, but I was able to scrape up the rest of the funds, and we spent about $3,800 to film the proof of concept. It was a 1-day shoot, 2 different locations, and the cinematographer I got, he's awesome. He's got like one of the best reels I've seen in the independent circuit. He's done a lot of good work. And I think he was the bulk of the project. He set up the shot lists. He set up all the lighting himself. He's actually doing the editing, which the proof of concept's supposed to be finished. I think he said mid-February. He should be done with the editing process, so that way I can actually get it loaded up onto the YouTube channel.
Nice. Now, okay, so now do you have a date for production for the full length feature? And I know there's an Indiegogo out right now for that as well.
Yeah, we're wanting to start filming like sometime around June, and we're expecting probably a 30-day shoot. We're allotting a 30-day shoot. We think we can get it done in probably 21 to 24 days, but we want to give some extra time in case we have some reshoots or if there's some scheduling conflicts or something like that. But we figure we can get it done in about a month.
Now, are you filming in Kentucky?
Everything will be in Louisville, Kentucky. That's where the story takes place in all 3 of the books that are going to be out. Everything takes place in Louisville, one city.
Awesome. Now I've been to Louisville once. Louisville is a fucking blast.
It can be, especially around Derby.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. I went to some great restaurants. You can also bourbon. I mean, you go to all of the distilleries. I went on the tours, and also the Muhammad Ali Museum was amazing as
yeah,
well.
the Muhammad Aziz Center is great. I actually live about probably about 4 blocks from that. I live in the downtown area. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I'm right next to 4th Street Live. I don't know if you got to visit
Yes.
that when you came.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I live literally practically right across the street from that.
I was shocked because Louisville, Kentucky. I didn't know absolutely nothing about it, and I had to go there for work, and I was there for a couple days. I was like, "Wow, this is
Mhm.
this is an amazing place. More people need to know about Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky is a fun time."
Right now, Kentucky itself, the whole state, is giving huge, I mean, huge tax incentives for independent filmmakers or even
Really?
big studios. I think for people outside of Kentucky to come in and film in Kentucky, I think the tax incentives is like 225,000, which is
Wow,
crazy.
that's crazy.
Um, if you if your production company is in Kentucky, they're still giving like $100,000 in tax incentives.
Which is amazing.
So it is very amazing. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Kentucky is big because like even like I went to one of the restaurants there, and I believe like one of the Iron Chefs owns it.
Yes. In fact, there's even a guy Ferrari's here on 4th Street Live. There's a guy
Is it?
Ferrari's. Yep.
Hmm.
It's kind of changed since COVID. Before COVID, it was like one of the best barbecues, but since COVID, it's kind of turned like into a cafeteria setting. You go up to
Oh,
the
really?
counter and then order what you want. You can't actually sit at the table and order from a waitress anymore. So that's kind of off-putting.
What I said. Yeah, but Louisville, Kentucky. Everybody, if you haven't been, check it out. Oh, and the Louisville
Yeah.
Slugger. Um,
Louisville Slugger
Factory.
Museum. Get a
Factory.
baseball bat with your name on it and everything. We have the Bourbon Trail, which
Yes.
they give you a book that's almost an inch thick, all the bourbon places to hit, and you get a little stamp.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's a lot of
I
bourbon.
actually did that. I did it that and the whole entire day. And I was staggering back to my hotel. I did it, but it was a fun time.
I can see that.
So, all right. So right now, so you got your second book out. Now, have you already
Yes.
started planning for the third and the final book?
I've started the outline on it. I already know how it's going to begin and end. I just got to get the middle outlined, and then I'll probably start writing on that. Um, I was thinking May, and I'm hoping to have it out by Christmas. But it might be a stretch, especially if the film gets going and we get wrapped up on the filming. Then I got to start adapting the second book to script. Um, I don't know. I may hire that out. Um, it just depends. If I have time. If I have time, I'll write it myself. If not, I may have to outsource that while I'm writing the book on the third book.
Because I was about to ask, when do you have time to do all of this? I mean, you're coming out with
I never sleep. Uh, I work a regular 8 to 5 job, and then of course come home, spend time with the kids and the wife. Eat dinner and stuff like that. And then when they go to bed, that's when I sit down and write.
wow. And how are you able to come up with new ideas? So, do you already start off with? Do you already have an ending in mind, or do you? I heard some writers say they have an ending and they work their way backwards to the beginning.
That's how I work. I always had the end. I always had the ending up here, and then I work backwards. I've tried beginning to end, and I always get mixed up in the middle. But if I start from the end to the beginning, I usually don't have a problem.
So I can even imagine doing that. First of all, I'm not a writer. But I cannot even imagine doing that. Like, I think it's a natural order in most people's brains to start from beginning to end.
Hmm. There
To go
is.
from end to beginning. I mean, that's an amazing concept.
Yeah, because I already got some. I don't want to say hate mail, but I did have some friends of mine that bought the second book, and after they finished it, I was getting text messages saying, "How could you end it like that?" Because now I have to wait until the third one's written to see what I was like, that's why they call it a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I said, think,
Now,
just imagine when I was growing up, the big cliffhanger for me was Empire Strikes Back. I had to wait
yes,
until Return Jedi came out to find out what happened on
yes,
that.
and those are the worst, man. Now,
Hmm.
now, one thing I hate as a film and book fan, I hate when I read an amazing story and then the adaptation into a movie doesn't hit on all the points that the book did. Is
That
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 something that you're
is
worried about?
uh, yes and no. I mean, if I was completely 100% outsourcing, say I just sold the rights of the book,
Mhm.
and then any studio can do what they want, then yeah, I would be concerned about like, what are they? How are they going to butcher this? I've seen some adaptations that were pretty close to the source material, and I've seen some that were just the only source material was the name. Everything else was just completely garbage. But since I'm actually involved in this, I wrote the screenplay. I'm producing it. I know what the vision is. I don't feel as edgy about that. Now, of course, I know the director will have his own insights on how he thinks the shot should look, or this and that and everything. And I plan on working closely with whoever's directing it. Right now, it's Christopher Gatros. He's who we got assigned to it, and I hope that working with him, we can, if there's some things that we don't necessarily see eye to eye on, maybe we can find a common middle ground. Um,
Mhm.
Something I say, don't, this has to be in there because this was in the book and this is crucial for the story. Um, but I, I, I really don't think that there will be a poor adaptation just because I'll be involved with it.
Now, are you shocked that more indie horror writers don't do what you're doing and reach out to indie filmmakers to try to put their novella or their story into a film
Yeah,
adaptation?
I've actually wondered that a lot. Actually, that you mentioned that there's a lot of stuff out there I've seen that I'd be like, this would be a great film. Why has this not been a film yet? And come to find out that the person's waiting to sell the rights to a big production company. I'm like, well,
Mm.
bigger doesn't always mean better.
Yeah.
You know, some of your better movies started out as independents, like El Mariachi by Robert Rodriguez. He
Mhm.
filmed that with $7,000. You know,
Even Halloween, the original
yeah,
Halloween
the
was
original Halloween. I mean, and the first Terminator. The
mhm,
first Terminator, hell, James Cameron was running around at night, without getting permits, doing
yep,
guerrilla filming,
yep,
and now look at him, he's a billionaire. I mean,
yeah.
it amazes me how people will just try to hold out for that big studio. I mean, unless you're Tom Clancy or Stephen King, they're not going to be knocking on your door. You're going to have to do the legwork, and sometimes you may have to start small. And if, say, one of your books is made by an independent company, independent filmmaker, and it does well at festivals and stuff like that, then bigger production companies will look at that and say, "Hey, look what these little guys did. Imagine how the story would look with our money."
I agree. Now, do you think what do you think the reason for that? Do you think is part of it is delusion, or do you think part of it is the unknown? They're scared.
Um, Probably the former. I think a lot of them have the delusion that, oh, I've got this great story. Everybody that I know tells me it's great and everything. So Hollywood must think it's great. You know how many stories goes across the desk of producers in Hollywood?
Millions.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many trees of paperwork go
Yes.
across their desk that it's not even funny. And I mean, like I said, it's crazy how some people think that, just because, I mean, and it could be the next Oscar winner, but you're not going to know until you get up. I mean, I was told that when you get in this business, film, 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 grab a camera, even if it's your iPhone, a regular, Sony A7 you got laying around or something like that. Just go out and film stuff. You'll be surprised who might catch on to that. You know, so
100%.
um, I mean that's what I'm hoping happens with this. I'm hoping that we get the funding and we can do the feature film, and I get the right distributor that's not going to try to rob me blind or
Watch out for
send me.
that.
Yeah, um, and I mean I'm not expecting a worldwide theatrical release or anything like that. I mean it could happen. You know, you never know.
Never know.
But I'm hoping for at least some type of theatrical release um, through a distributor and then a streaming service. And hopefully, if that generates enough popularity, then when it comes time to do the second film, then maybe I'll have companies come to me and say, "Hey, we saw this on Amazon, or we heard you filmed this movie for $50,000 and it made 250 at the box office. What else you got? You said this is part one of a trilogy. What else you got? You
Yeah.
know,
Now, you started off as a writer first. So this
yes,
question is going to be about writing. What are some struggles right now in 2024 that you see for even new or even experienced independent writers?
publishing. There's that's the whole reason why I'm doing independent publishing on Amazon. It's not the best. You got to pay for your own marketing. You got to pay for everything comes out of your pocket. Uh, the problem is right now, a lot of publishers are not taking new material or new writers on. That's the trouble, at least I've found with writing. Because I tried to get a publisher for my second book and sent it out to several places, and all of them saying we're not taking any new submissions, only from people that are already in our wheelhouse already.
Now, why do you think that is?
Money. Uh, they obviously want a return on, did they publish the book, put their name on it, and pay for copies to be printed, sit out the bookstores, stuff like that. They want to make sure they're going to get that money back. And by taking on new people, there's no guarantees in that. But taking the next book that Stephen King just wrote, they know that's going to sell, regardless. Even if it's the worst thing he's put out, it's going to sell.
Yeah. But it's kind of crazy if you think that way because as a business, you got to take risks. I mean,
Hmm.
you could be passing up on the next Stephen King or Dean Koontz.
Correct, and that's what I've been saying to him. Even one of the query letters, I said, I know I'm new. At least read the manuscript. If you don't like it, at least tell me, hey, we're gonna have to pass on this. Just don't send me the blank email with the cookie cutter message saying we're not taking new submissions.
Yeah.
I mean, at least let me know, hey, we're not taking submissions for the next 6 months. We'll take some at the end of the year or once a month. We take new submissions for a week or something like that. Don't just send me a blank message, basically. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's not professional. I mean, if you want the client to be professional and everything like that, you should return it. Just because you're the publishing house doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
But yeah,
All right.
that's been my biggest issue is, finding an actual publisher that's taking on new clients.
Because if you go, like you said, the self-publishing route with Amazon or any of the other companies, you definitely, like you said, you have to market it yourself. You have to do your own
Yes.
promotion. You got to put the boots on the ground, and you got to be almost a salesperson
Yep.
because you don't have that big machine pushing your work
Right.
for you.
That or have a decent sized bankroll at your disposal where you can pay for their marketing and advertising to where you're on the first link that pops up on Google if somebody
Yeah,
types in a particular word. That's the only way you're going to get it on self-publishing.
yeah, and that's absolutely crazy because I've ran into a lot of self-published authors with some great, amazing work, but that's why I have this show. This because I'm trying to shine a spotlight on some people who have some amazing work out there, and normally, they don't have the funds for marketing or whatever, and this is a little place for everybody to come and see these indie authors that are doing some good work out there.
Right. And we need more shows like that. We need more exposure.
I agree.
That's one of the other things, exposure. I think um, again, to me, it all boils down to money. It's how much you're willing to pay for that exposure. Some places that were like, oh yeah, I'll have you on my podcast, but I got so and so that's going to be ahead of you because they're established, and then eventually, when they finally get to you, you don't even remember what you're going to be on the show about.
I even heard from, because I got accused of this by someone, that there's a lot of individuals who do what I do, and they charge indie filmmakers and authors to come on their show.
I've heard that too, because they're charging for the exposure. Hey, I've got this.
Yes,
I've got 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they watch my show all the time. So you want to be on? It's going to cost you $5,000.
Yeah.
I could use that $5,000 to make 2 movies.
Exactly. But yeah, I got accused by someone. Someone thought I was doing that, and I'm like, no, I do these for free. Like this is my thing. I could not
Right.
even imagine charging somebody to come on my show for an interview.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, some people, in fact, they're probably just jealous of your show.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why they're taking your charge, and they're jealous because they can't come up with their own idea like that.
they're amazed I'm able to get so many indie figures on my
Right.
show for interviews, and they're like, "Well, what is he doing? He must be charging them." Or something. I'm like, "No, 100% free." 100%.
Yeah, we're gonna come running to you so you can take our money.
Indie, but here's the thing: indie individuals, authors, what's called, don't have money anyway. So why would I?
Exactly.
That's a stupid platform.
I mean,
to charge them to come on my show.
if we had money, we wouldn't have to do Indigos just to make a movie.
Exactly.
or GoFundMe's or go out and donate plasma. Go to
Exactly.
the pawn shop and sell that old jewelry you're not wearing anymore. I mean, that's where our funding is.
I'm gonna say I accept as payment. I accept subscriptions. So that's my payment. You subscribe to my channel, you can have a free interview. That's how I roll.
I subscribed with my personal YouTube and with my production company YouTube. So you got two subs from me.
Yes, I definitely appreciate that. All right, Kevin. So your Indigo goes out right now. What are some perks that individuals can look for?
Actually, let me pull that up on my other computer real quick. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them, so I don't want to give the wrong information. Just 1 second. I've got a 2 PC setup because I also game on Twitch. So
nice.
Let's see where we at here. Let me log into this real quick. All right, it's going to make me a liar, so I'm going to use my phone. I've got it right here. Sorry. All right. We have a special thanks perk, which that's for $15. They get you a special thanks on the in the credits at the end, and also on IMDb. For $25, you can get a digital copy of the script, and you also get the special thanks. Then we also got a digital copy of the film and the special thanks. DVD, you get official poster, which the poster is on the Indigo. It'll be the poster that you see on the actually Indigo. Then we have one where it's a signed Blu-ray DVD. You can get your face in the movie for $100. You can be a featured background player. Yeah,
you get your face in the movie. You have to get a role, or just your face that pops in the movie.
You'll be like a background character, and the camera will actually at least focus on you for a few seconds. So, I mean, you can say, yeah, it won't be like one of them passing shots where, like, you see the guy in the back, behind the guy in the back, behind the guy in the back. That's where I'm standing. No, they'll actually be able to see your face. We have a featured background, which is a background person that will actually have one line, maybe 2 lines that will be heard on the film while they're seeing you. So you'll be like one of the scenes, for instance, is the first crime scene where they've got the caution tape up, the police tape, and you got some onlookers. that perk would get you as one of those onlookers that's saying something to the police. So you'll actually be seen and heard in the film. Associate producer. Then we got another associate producer, which is called the associate producer, where your name will actually be in the end credits and you'll get IMDb credit as well. There's one where you can act in the movie, where if there's only 2 of those available, and what that is if they get that perk, then I will go back and insert a special scene with that person in the script. They'll have some dialogue, and of course they will also be visible and stuff like that. You know, they will get a special scene written just for them, which is different, a little bit different.
Yeah.
We've got a co-producer perk, and then finally executive producer.
Sweet.
And of course, if they don't like any of those perks, they say, okay, you know, I like the project, but I don't want any of that. They can just do a flat donation.
Okay. So what if somebody came up to you and was like, I got $5,000. I want a supporting role in the movie?
Well, in that case, I would probably give them, I would probably write a couple scenes with that person in it, and then give them the co-producer perk, because it's the co-producer perk is $3,000. The other $2,000 would get them a page and a half written for them as a supporting character.
Okay, sweet. Good to know. Good to know. Listen, everybody, go down into the description box. There's a link for the Indiegogo. Now, Kevin, where can everyone find you, my friend?
The easiest way to find me would be on my website, which is direwolfproductions.com. And there's a message thing there, or a thing that says contact us. That'll send you right to my email, and they can send me an email through there. They can also go to the Indigo, and there's a question thing there. They can send a message through that way as well if they had a question. And then, if you don't mind, I can also give you the links for my 2 books. Maybe somebody would want to know what the story's more about.
Exactly,
and read the book before they want to donate.
Yes. So that will also be down in the description as well. So the links. Kevin, it's been an absolute blast. Listen, everybody, go ahead and donate to the Seduction Indiegogo. The links then got some excellent perks, as well as check out Kevin's 2 books there right now. You can find them on Amazon. Kevin, it's been an absolute blast having you on, man. Listen, once you get your movie made and out there, I would love to have you back on and we can talk about it.
No problem. And we get it made when it premieres. I got a ticket for you.
I appreciate it. In Kentucky?
Where do you live?
I live in Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. If we get distribution there, I'll make sure you got a ticket for there. If not, I'll fly into Kentucky.
I'll definitely fly into Kentucky, my friend.
All
right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Good night.
Now, I'm being serious. I will fly into Kentucky.